Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's take a quick look here at Near Protocol. It's actually looking quite strong, broken through this more recent resistance range, potential bullish backtest of the descending trend line, and some important things to look at, including being above some important moving averages. So we're going to take a quick peek here at this guy. We'll jump into liquidation levels first, and if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for hitting the like button, commenting below if you get a chance. And obviously just the awesome feedback I've been receiving. My community members have been doing very well here. Got a little 22% from Rune Protocol in 9 hours. A 1 week trade from Bitcoin, 45%, 9% from Chainlink, and 64% over the weekend from an older Caspa trade. So things are looking pretty well. Near Protocol is definitely one of those coins I'm considering. So let's see if it's worthwhile taking an entry at this point. Again, we got to make sure and recognize that Bitcoin could still pull back, but even though Bitcoin has been pulling back, a lot of coins like this are doing very, very well. So it's really cool to recognize that. So let's go ahead and zoom in here. This is the last 7 days worth of liquidation for Near Protocol. We can see there's a lot of liquidation still above the price action. So these, it's funny how shorts get really, really like heavy. So it's like people who short trade, they're generally generic gamblers or degenerate gamblers. I'm sorry, I don't want to say that. That's unfair. I also short trade, but it's seldom, right? I try not to short trade too often, and I just think it's best if you don't, because then you have less risk in general. Okay, so just keep that in mind. There's no limit to how high a coin can go. There is a limit to how low it can go. Having said all that, there's a lot more shorts than longs at this given point above the price action, so that reinforces the fact that the price could continue to run. Now, again, we want to kind of check and see here and make sure we're aware of the fact that we have somewhat of a resistance level here, a retest. We could very well see this become the beginning of a cup and handle pattern. They oftentimes start like this, and what you look for is a descending channel that works into its kind of a bull flag. Okay, it's not a guarantee that's going to happen, but this has the makings of that, so to speak. So something we can pay attention to and revisit later. Looking at the daily time frame, though, let's quickly note, and this is something I'm kind of excited about. Generally speaking, when it comes to moving averages, being over the 200 is awesome. It's held fairly well, even though we've been above and below it, but we're now officially above it and the descending trend line. We can also see, too, the 20-day SMA is right there. 20 and the 200, when they intersect, so to speak, in that way, it's a very, very positive sign. Okay, so there's a strong likelihood if the price pulls back. This level about 530, 540 should be a solid support. Okay, so Near Protocol is looking pretty good. From the macro perspective, we can see stochastic swinging up for the second time. Money flow index is high. And even though we haven't broken through 50 yet, it seems like it's a distinct probability. It's not exactly happened yet. So that is, I would say, the only thing that's kind of not concerning, but just you want to be over 50 on the RSI in general, preferably even the 50-day SMA, to have like that true on bullish continuation. But at this point here, I'll take a retest that previous resistance at 560, and let's see where this is going here next. So looking at 4 hour, let's quickly understand a couple of things here first. When you look at the 4 hour time frame, you want to recognize that being below the 200-day SMA is never great, but that's up there at almost $6 even. Not a problem at all. In fact, if I saw $6 here in the price action, that's all the way up here. There's tons of liquidation between now and $6. Okay, so again, that's a pretty solid increase. So the price continues up there. It's a good 7% roughly. So if you're going to consider securing profits and you're in a long position now, or you consider taking one, the price keeps going up, a good consideration for taking profits is just below that fib level and or just below the simple moving average, that 200. Because again, it's common for the price to reject at that level. Looking here, of course, we can see also the same thing too with 70 on the RSI. That's another initial rejection spot. So if we see the price continue to run, it'll probably top out there. It may break through, don't get me wrong. It's not like it can't happen. That actually is a very good sign when it does. But if we see a rejection there initially, it's okay. It's kind of normal. It's par for the course, because once you break through this resistance, it's likelihood of the price pulling back to reset the RSI. The RSI kind of tapers off, and then the price inevitably ramps back up once we have that cooling off period and people begin to feel like it's a good value again. They don't want to miss out. Okay, those are some cool things there. So the 4 hour time frame is actually very, very nice. If we look at the daily, sorry, we already did that. We're looking at the hourly. We quickly confirm here we're above the cloud, lagging spans free and clear, and conversion lines of the baseline. There's no reason to consider shorting this coin. Really, it is absolutely balls to the wall. No reason at all. Okay. So make sure you're cautious and careful. The price doesn't end up pulling back and you get lucky with a 0.236 entry at about 540. That would be a solid entry consideration, because again, you can see this previous resistance level that broke free from its range. And then of course, it's actually a bullish backtest right there. It's hard to see, but if you zoom in, the candle actually came down to bounce off that level. And then of course, Bob's your uncle, price takes off. So if the price doesn't pull back and you get lucky again, 540 would be a solid consideration. I'm going to go ahead and set like an alert in that range just to kind of get notified if that happens. But what I'm looking for here, there's two things that could happen. Strong likelihood of the price going up like this, retesting here, good consideration for entry before it takes off. Secondary to that, again, that's all pending on if Bitcoin has a bad day or not, to keep that in mind. But in a perfect world, the price starts to work itself into a channel like this and inevitably launches after it's retested the most recent high as a new low. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Again, 540, 542, 543, right in that range would be solid consideration for entry on this coin. That's kind of where we're at. Okay. So again, mostly good stuff. There's very little disadvantageous scenarios here. I'm going to go and post this playout chart here on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. If you're not familiar, I post them day in and day out. I probably get 10 to 15 a day because I analyze coins based on requests. And I get these requests in our community, again, with our request section. So be sure to check that out. Thanks again to everyone who's done that, and I deeply appreciate, just again, all the wonderful support I've been receiving. Make sure you also reference BitUnix, phenomenal exchange. We use them primarily as an exchange here, and they are phenomenal. Okay, so they've been great to our community. Deeply appreciate them, and there's really nice benefit rewards. Use my link to register, so check them out. All right, folks, have a good rest of your day. We'll see you the next one. Take care.